Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ocean Outlast Expert. I hope everyone is doing great today. I know that I am. We're jumping right back on into things today. There's a few things we need to recap on. So, we did have an impromptu live stream. Well, by impromptu, I mean I announced it over on Discord, but it wasn't in line with our normal schedule. So we had it on Sunday evening, August 30th. And we just did a couple minor things. It was a little over a 2-hour stream. If you wanted to see the full recap, highly recommend going over to my Twitch, link down below, and you can check out the whole entire video there. But yeah, like I said, we didn't do a whole lot. Did a decent amount of exploration, and then did a few minor things here around the base. So I'll recap them fairly quickly. Now, one of the things that I did want to recap on, which I've realized, unfortunately, is that somewhere in the process of the last video as well as our live stream, we had lost our time in a bottle. So this is actually the second one I had laying around. It didn't have any time on it, but our previous time in the bottle had about 18 hours on it. And I might have deleted it. I'm not 100% sure. So I had to take this one, and we're already starting to try to get some time back on it. I'm really bummed about it, but it's just something to keep in mind. Your time in a bottle, if you get rid of it somehow, you lose it. You're losing all that time. Even if you have another one laying around, we had this one laying around in our storage. The time does not transfer between the two, unfortunately. So just be very careful with your time in the bottle. You don't want to go and be losing that. Now, the stuff that we did on stream, other than exploration, is we got a few machines up and going here. So we got our sag mill up and going, which is awesome. This thing is a beast. So if we go to sag mill here, I'll show you how you make it. Pretty straightforward, two different options. If you already have a simple sag mill up and going, you can do it this way, but if you don't, which was our case, I made it like so. Just a decent amount of dark steel, dark bimetal gears, which take dark steel, and then this industrial machine chassis. Now this bad boy, not too hard to make. You just need a simple machine chassis, which we've made before. But the thing that is a little bit more tricky is you need industrial dye blend. Now this industrial dye blend, I've made it before on my MC Eternal playthrough, but it's a little bit different here. There's a little less options for us. So the two things that you actually have to craft up are organic black dye and then this organic green dye. So this is made with 3 different options here. I did the bottom one where you can just take some normal green dye, some slime, and then some pulverized coal in some form or fashion. Obviously, it gives you a bunch of different options, and it'll give you 2. That's exactly how many you need in order to make it. And then you need organic black dye, which is very similar, but you just need minus the green dye on it. Same thing, minus green dye. Pretty straightforward. And then you can obviously cook this up in an alloy smelter like so, and get your industrial machine chassis. Now also with this industrial dye blend, you do need crushed quartz as well as crushed lapis. That's very straightforward. It's how you would imagine it's made up. You just crush those bad boys up. So we got that up and going. Now what the sag mill allows us to do is just basically grind things a little bit more effectively. Certain things, I should say. Not everything will be equal when looking at the sag mill compared to other devices that we might have. So let me try to get an example here and show you guys of how quickly it'll work for us. So let's just grab what's always good to have. We could just get a piece of iron. I'll just show you real quickly how, well, you know what I'll do? I'll grab some of this ores that we have over here, and I'll show you how quickly this sag mill will work for us. So we have some iron here. What we'll do is we'll grab most of it. I'll replenish one. I really should lock all of those drawers, but it is what it is for the time being. So if we come to the sag mill and we put it in here, as you can see, there's 4 different outputs. Well, there is a chance that this will give multiple different outputs. So you can get a chance of pulverized iron, which is good. You would expect that. Tin, there's a 5% chance, nickel, 10% chance, and then cobblestone. Now, as you can see, the chances say modified by a grinding ball. Well, there's a bunch of different grinding balls that you can actually get. Just like so. The best one and probably the easiest one to make right now, realistically, if you hold shift over them, it shows you different bonuses that it'll give. So your main output is 100%, bonus output 185, so you have 185% chance of the bonus, so just increased, and then power use is 100, so not that great. The dark steel one seems to be the best because it gives you the best bonus output, bumps up your main output, and it reduces the amount of power that is needed by the machine itself. Now the other thing for the sag mill and for any Ender IO upgraded or normal smelteries, you do have to put a capacitor in it. Now there's different kinds of capacitors that you can use. When you don't have one in there, as you can see, it says capacitor missing, and it shows your base capacitor here from Ender IO. Well, you can also use some of these that you can find around the world. Now this one is actually really good because they'll be different based on what you can find. So for this one, it has a global level of 3.06 and then a sag mill of 4.16. Now you might be wondering what these numbers mean. Really what you want to look for is the colors. So there's roughly like 3 to 4 different colors. It ranges from red being the worst to blue being the best. So it'll go red to kind of move into, I think, like an orangey red, into a green, and then up to a blue. And the blue is the best. Now, I think there might even be a darker blue than the one we have here, but this one is pretty good, and it makes this thing a beast. Now, when you do craft up these these grinding balls, you do get multiple of them per crafting. So we actually get 24 because you do go through them as you are using this machine. So I'll show you how this works. I'll throw this iron in, and just look how quick it chews through that iron ore. Like, holy smokes, it chews through it super quick. We get cobblestone, nickel, and iron. That's a good amount of stuff. Now, you can throw a bunch of different things in here and get a lot of output, and that's actually what I've been doing. As you can see here, we have a bunch of ores pulverized in here, and they've been running through this machine. Now, I'm going to touch base on this in a minute, because you might already notice something's a little off. So the next thing we got then up and going is our alloy smelter. So we had a simple one before, but now we upgraded it to a normal one. So basically, it'll just produce the output a little bit quicker. So we go to alloy smelter. And for us, we already had a simple alloy smelter. So all I did was crafted up a simple powered furnace. You have another industrial machine chassis you need, and then some more of these dark bimetal gears and dark steel ingots. Pretty straightforward. Get that up and going. And then for us, I have this capacitor in here because I didn't have one that really related to the alloy smelter itself. So I just put a global one in there. The global one will work with any machine. So it's good to know that. And as you can see, I was crafting up some steel ingots there. We can put those away for the time being. And I'm actually going to grab this netherrack because I was getting that ground up over here in our enrichment chamber. Quick tip, if you do have nether quartz ore like so, enrichment chamber will output 6 quartz per block, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good deal. So that was most of them. The other thing that we did get up and going is our Osmium Compressor. Now this was on our list for quite some time to get up and going so that we could actually progress into the extended crafting stuff. Now I ultimately used it, I think I used it for something different maybe, or I was starting down a path of getting something different. But we basically got it up and going. It was pretty straightforward to do, as you can see. Enriched alloy, we've been over advanced circuits, steel casings, buckets. We've been over all of those before, so I'm not going to recap on them. It was pretty straightforward to get up and going. Now, the big elephant in the room you might have already noticed. Well, we moved our crafting stuff, as you can see. It's not over here anymore. Our simple storage stuff is over here. Now, you might be wondering why. Well, we'll have to go downstairs to look, but look at what we have here. Some elevators. That is right, I did craft up some elevators. So these are really easy to make once you get into Thaumcraft, and I completely forgot about them. So all you have to do is take 8 white wool and then have this alienus in your crucible already. Throw the white wool in there and you're good to go. You get an elevator. So if you think about it, because the best way to get that alienus in your crucible is actually through ender pearls. Now, if you're aware of how elevators are actually crafted, they're typically 8 wool around an ender pearl in the middle. So pretty much you're doing the same exact thing. You just have to throw the ender pearl into the crucible first and then throw the wool on top of it and you get your output. I'm gonna sleep through the night real quick here. Now you might be wondering, why did I go with blue? Well, we happen to have a gajillion blue wool sitting around, so I figured why not use it and get a nice blue elevator going up in here. So let's go downstairs and see what I have spent a decent amount of time off camera, not even on stream, doing, because I knew it'd be tedious and a bit boring. So here we go. Yeah. We got some storage up and going. Just a little bit of storage, I would say. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm guessing my F1 still don't work. Yeah, my F1 still doesn't work. That's okay. Yeah, we got a lot of storage up and going, and this is only half of it. So you guys probably remember we did have our kitchen in here. I have removed it. I have it in our bag right here. We are going to relocate it. That might be another episode, or maybe we'll do another live stream where we build a special building for our kitchen and everything like that. I really wanted to have our storage relatively close to our main base where we're going in, smelting things, crafting things. So this made the most sense. I could have put this way far out somewhere else, but I wanted to utilize this space a little bit better. So as you can see, I made a bunch of these 2x2 drawers because really they're the most effective for things, especially if you don't have a large quantity of those items. I have them obviously with the quantity on them, and they are locked, so it helps prevent moving things around or taking out all of the items and then it not replenishing to that same spot. So for example, if I try to take out these fermented spider eyes here, I only have 2. Well, it really should only let me take out, well, it'll let me take out both of them, but it'll still hold that placeholder in its spot. So I'll show you here. So if we go to fermented spider eyes, I take both of them out. Now it shows 0, but it still holds that placeholder for the item. Whereas if it wasn't locked, it would just completely go away and be an open space for it. So I throw them back in and they repopulate, which is awesome. But yeah, and as you can see, I also created another request table down here because I figured we would be spending a decent amount of time in this area as well. And it's easy to just go right to here and grab what we need right out of this table here. So yeah, I built a bunch of these 2x2s. Obviously have some compacting drawers over here for a lot of our metals, a lot of our ingots, where we're going to have a lot of them. We might be utilizing blocks, we might be utilizing nuggets. It's just an easier way to go about storing those materials. So we have those all lined up over here. Obviously some of the one-off ones we have over here in just normal 2x2s because there's not going to be that many of them. And then everything else is kind of sporadic in. I tried to organize it a little bit with, more gems and things like that here. It kind of blends into some mob drops and miscellaneous items. We have some kind of wood, like foresty items here. And then you go into blocks. Lots and lots of blocks, as you can see. So all up through here, we have blocks. And I figured it was the best way to go about that, just putting them all in like so. And we have it nice and neat under our window there. It looks really, really cool. And then it ties in over to here where we have some more 2x2s. We have some open spaces, as you can see, leaving options open if we were to get more items that we need to store away. And then also I did move our bonsai trees, or our hopping bonsai pots, I should say, inside here and hooked them up to the system. So now instead of having to go back and forth, we can go right in here and let's say we needed some, I don't know, what is it, great wood, right? It'll pop up with all of those items right there for us. Makes it very convenient, and if we're out and about and we so happen to come across a lot of that wood, we can just throw it right into our remote here and it'll automatically get filtered into this bad boy here. Now the other thing I did set up was some additional medium storage crates over here. So obviously I had moved the ones that we had all over here. I've kind of organized most things. I pitched a bunch of junk that we really didn't need to hold on to. And I've dwindled it down to these 3 medium chests. They're not even all full. This is mostly armor and stuff. This one has a decent amount of potions and then kind of a bunch of other stuff. And then this one is completely empty, except for these small storage crates there. But it just leaves us a good amount of space if we are, crafting something. Let's say I don't know, earlier I was crafting cables for this, the storage cables. And, you have to make living rock slabs, I should say, not planks. Living rock slabs. And obviously we don't have a place for them because we use them all up. Well, this allows it so we can just throw it right back into the system. It can temporarily go into one of these storage crates and then get pulled right back out when we complete our crafting. It just makes it a little bit easier, offers a little bit more wiggle room. And as you can see, we just have a massive storage area now, which is awesome. And then obviously we have our elevator here so we can go up and down just like so, which is super nice. And then really we could have another elevator farther down so we could just go right down into the next room as well. And maybe we will actually do that. Why not? I'll show you guys how we craft this up too. So we get 8 of these boys, and then unfortunately we do have to use an ender pearl, and I am kind of getting low on ender pearls, which is a little bit unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. They're there to be used, and ultimately I'm happy as long as we are using them. So yeah, that was realistically the bulk to catch you guys up on everything. Now, where we last left off, I should say, in the previous episode, we finally got our Smelter sapling up and going, and as you can see, we've accumulated a bunch of ectoplasm. Now, that ectoplasm, right there, we use to make Smelter string, Smelter ingots, and then obviously more Smelter ingots there. You have 2 different ways. You can make single ones, or you can make blocks of it as well, which is kind of cool. That's actually really nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's actually a better deal to use that, because this is a 1-to-1, and this you actually save 2 ectoplasm on if you use this way. So I guess making in bulk on that situation actually is the best way to go about it. But anywho, so yeah, we were getting that going because we ultimately needed to get some of that stuff. I believe we needed it for something. Now I'm drawing a blank. That's the hard thing with this pack. I'm not gonna lie. You start getting into things and then you start forgetting what exactly you were crafting all of those items up for. You know, we're like, oh, well, we'll get this down and so on and so forth. Oh, that's what it was. It was to get our Smelter coil up and going. And this is a transfer. So this was something else that I realized, well, I didn't realize, it was brought up during the live stream. If we go to Smelter coils here, the one that we currently have, it generates 128 RF per tick. Now all these other ones, they just transfer RF. So this is the explanation of it here. So transfers 1024 RF per tick out of the Smelter energy buffer of whoever placed it into the block it's attached to. You get energy into your Smelter energy buffer using a Smelter energy injector. What? Here is the Smelter energy injector. Energy input to this block goes into the Smelter energy buffer of whoever placed it. The buffer can hold up to, what is that, 1 million RF. The energy inside of it can be transferred elsewhere using Smelter coils. So what I've realized, I know we were kind of going this whole path to get this Smelter coil up and going. This isn't what we wanted, because it'll transfer energy, which is great. We can utilize that if we were not already using an energy transfer system, but it doesn't generate it like what we thought it would. Now this does generate it, but as you can see, I mean, you need a lot of stuff to do that. You have to get a bunch of these end tier ones, these ender Smelter coils, which take a lot. You need redstone Smelter coils, you need base Smelter coils. Yeah. Actually, well, what are these? Creative generator? I don't think we can even, yeah, we can't even, look at that. Look at that crazy crafting recipe. They make it basically impossible to get some of those up and going. But yeah, so I think unfortunately, we're gonna have to kind of pump the brakes on that one. It doesn't make a lot of sense for us to get into that. I already showed you that. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but I know that we're gonna have to eventually utilize it for other things as well. So I'm glad that we did go down that path of getting the materials that we need for the Smelter stuff. I remember that when we first started our series, I was looking at something that required it, and I couldn't figure out how to get it. But obviously now it's been so long since then, I don't fully remember what we were even looking at that time. All right, so let me show you how we do this. So first you throw your ender pearl in, and then you throw your wool. I just throw it all at one time, just like so. And then bada bing, bada boom, we have another blue elevator. It's pretty straightforward. And again, it does very similarly mimic the recipe, the base recipe, the non-modified recipe for it. So what we'll do is we're going to go down into our room down here, and we'll throw it on the floor just so that we can get them all the way down here, right here. This is where we need it. Just like so. And then we could even get one more farther down, so we could get all the way downstairs without even having to take our stairs, realistically. And then we could realistically expand things, because technically we don't even need these stairs over here anymore. We could expand our base farther out this way, and have it, you know, maybe even come all the way to the edge here. So definitely possibilities there. Now with that being said, we do need to continue on our path of getting some extended crafting up and going. Now, as you did probably already notice, I have this upgraded storage remote saved over here. I do want to work towards this eventually, but there are a few things that we don't have possible to us yet. Primarily this PSI metal ingots. I have one of them that I've looted from somewhere, but in order to get them, we have to get into the PSI mod, which you need like different rods and things like that. I haven't gotten into it, and so I really don't know what goes into that. So it's on our list, but we're not going to get to it right yet. So let me do a little bit of crafting. The end goal is maybe to hopefully get some of this stuff up and going today, and then we can get it placed, and then in the next episode we can start maybe working towards getting more thermal expansion up and going. So with that being said, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so we need to get some luminescence up and going for the next part of our crafting. So if we come into here, I could show you in our crafting core to get some of these up and going. We actually need a decent amount of it now that I'm looking at it. So we'll need what? So one here, right? One there, and then so 2, 4, we'll need 6. I didn't grab enough here. But we do have our thing on here. Let me really quickly grab this. We want one more of these, and then let me see, what does this have? That has 5 on it. All right, I don't think, yeah, that's not going to give us what we need. I just wanted some more light. I didn't want to have extra sitting in there. That's the problem. If we use another, well, we could just use a torch then, I guess. That would be fine. So what we need in order to do it is that light right there. As you can see, the little light has 10. And then we need the glowstone ingots. And in order to get this, we just need 2 per every one of the glowstone ingots. So this will get us through 5 of them. So we can throw this bad boy in, if I could aim correctly. There we go. And then we'll get 1. We'll get 2. 3. 4. 5. And we shouldn't get any more. If I throw this last one, it shouldn't do anything. Yeah. See? Nothing. Because we didn't have enough in there. Now, if we throw this torch in there, just like so, makes the noise. That's what you got to keep an ear out for, I should say. That'll give us the last luminescence that we need to get everything else crafted up. So everything is pretty straightforward. That was like the hardest thing that we needed to hold out to get. That's why we originally went into Thaumcraft as well, was to get the luminescence so that we could keep crafting. So if we come back into our base here and we come over here, we should be able to take a peek at this. So we have most everything. All we need are these last few components. So we need 2 of these. Just like so, we can throw them back in there. And then finally, actually we need 4 more of those. Oh, and we ran out of these. And we just had enough for that, but we're not going to have enough then to finish our crafting because we do need 1 more black iron there. We should have what we need. Let's just craft up 3 of them. Why not? We have what we need for it. We're still not gonna have enough, I don't think. We're gonna have to make some more. Because then we should have most everything, but we're just missing one more of these. We have that, and then we should just be missing 3 black iron ingots. So do we have anything that we could utilize? We don't really have anything. We could just go and take out some squid. So let me take out a couple squid here, get some ink sacs. All right, easy peasy, got what we needed. I also did want to show you guys, obviously we took out this walkway that went under this above walkway. I closed it off so we could extend that room to have more space for storage. And I did move our low-grade charcoal automation process right over here. Just wanted to let you guys know that if you were wondering, because before it was underneath the steps. So with that, we should be able to get some more black iron, just like so, and we should be able to get our crafting core up and going, just like so. And then we should be able to put it up here. This is like a pedestal for it, I believe. 0. Oh, I think there's a certain way that we actually have to... That's how we have to do it. There's a certain way to actually set it up. And I'm guessing it has to have a lot of space for it, which could be useful over here then. We could use this space that we have over here to set up some of our extended crafting. Or we realistically could go into our basement. We really don't spend much time down there. So let's head down there first. Because I think that would be the best bet. We can come down here. Nice, so much quicker to get where we need to. And if we put one more in there, it'd be really nice to get even farther down. Ooh, we got, what is this guy? What are you? A grottle? Oh, wow. Okay, I literally cannot kill it, so. Would it be worth it to hold on to it? Soul vial, please. Where'd you go, buddy? Is he gone? Oh, it looks like we lost him. Looks like he despawned or something because I'm not seeing him anywhere. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh. I have no idea what that was, but it didn't sound amazing. What the heck was that? It always catches you off guard, right? You just hear this loud explosion, but you have no idea where it came from. Alright, well that was a bummer. Oh well, it is what it is. Would we even be able to put another elevator here? We wouldn't, because we have our smeltery up and going right here. And our smeltery, we have 15 blocks of iron. Just a few blocks, that's all. But we have this huge area right here, and we could even carve it out a little bit more. But I think this is really how we need to set things up. I think we have to have our table like in the middle, and then we have to put our pedestals all around it. Because if we take a peek at the crafting itself for this, as you can see, it needs to be all around it with like a machine frame in the middle. I'm not super familiar with this combination crafting, I should say. So I'll have to do a little bit of research between this episode and the next one, but from my understanding, I'm guessing this is how it's going to be. Which, if that is the case, then we need to have what? Like probably 3 out, right? Like there or something like that. 0 pedestals found. We do need power to it as well. Can we grab, do we have a wireless boy? We do. Will that serve the tile? It does serve it. We still don't have any pedestals. Okay. I'm guessing I'm really just going to have to look into this more. I'm happy that we were able to get to this point where we are starting on this path. And there's obviously going to be a lot more to come. And maybe this will be the space for it. If we really do need to set out pedestals to mimic this pattern here. I mean, that's a lot of pedestals in itself. But then we obviously need to figure out how to arrange them properly and everything like that. Because what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Roughly 14, maybe 15 even pedestals that we need to get up and going in order to have this working properly. And it says no recipes found and no pedestals found. So that's a little bit interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into it more. But for our quests, oh yeah, see, you need 8 pedestals in order to even complete this quest. So I'm guessing that's what we're gonna have to do is get more of those going so we could get that up and going. The luminescence, you actually have to have 10 and you'll actually get 10 in return. That's actually kind of nice to be able to do it. So if we craft up 4 more of those, we could get that done, and then we could do an ender crafter. We could get into basic crafting tables as well. I don't think we've actually needed to use this yet for anything, or no recipes have popped up where we've had to use it. Except for this one, I guess. If we wanted to get our sequential fabricator or something like that up and going, then we could utilize it. But other than that, we don't really have a dire need for that one yet. But for this combination one, that is for certain we do need to have it going relatively soon. So guys, with that being said, we're going to wrap up the episode there. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like down below, or better yet, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking on this series. If you're new to the channel, you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and bell notification. I'll let you know every single time a new episode is posted to the channel. I do stream over on Twitch. I mentioned that earlier in the episode, and obviously there are a lot of recaps that happen because we do play this save file on stream. So if you don't want to miss anything, I highly recommend going over there and checking me out over there. I also have a Discord linked in the description. That's where you can stay up to date with everything that is going on with the channel and with the stream. Also, we got a couple fun people over there, cool people who just like hanging out, chit-chatting, and offering advice. So if you do want to join that, I have it linked in the description as well. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for sticking through till the end. I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy.